Hello everyone, I'm ExtraCheesy87 and this is Let's Play Miles's Windows update made OBS's audio settings reset, and therefore he recorded the intro in the first minute of the video into a just a black void of nothingness because OBS is like, sorry, you don't have a mic, which is, I'll be honest, it's not OBS's fault. It's Windows. I mean, they honestly, I think they both share a little bit of blame. Because Windows updates make OBS break sometimes. Which is what's annoying, because if it was every time, at least it would be like, oh, Windows randomly updated during the time when it's not supposed to update. God, what a great system. I love technology. I better remember to go ahead and check OBS. But it happens like maybe 30% of the time. Windows updates just completely reset all your audio shit, which is very annoying. Or like it resets all your default devices to nothing, which makes sense. Very cool. But it's only like in OBS. It's not like, you know, my headphones or something stopped working, but OBS is just like, sorry, we're on default for your input device. And you may be wondering, what is default? Nobody knows. It's not real. It doesn't exist. So that's the intro. Alternate versions of this intro. Miles is still arguing with a small child, and your irregularly scheduled episodes of Miles' Investigative Mysteries. We did both, and then we had like a little small argument over which one we should have used as the actual intro. Really, I started with the Investigative Mysteries, and then I remembered actually we should have started the video saying Miles is still arguing with a small child. And then we had a little back and forth, and then I looked over at the OBS thing and said, hey, why are the bars not moving? It's because Windows is a great operating system. No, I'm not installing Linux. So, what were you saying? Forgot, since we haven't actually read this yet, technically. It was just chance that Mr. Faraday's body fell on top of Mr. Rel's. The two bodies fell in a pile, which indicates they were attacking each other at the same time. It really doesn't matter in the slightest, they fell in the opposite order. Now, honestly, I think she's spitting. I don't really know what we're getting at with the whole... because there's so many different scenarios that I feel like you can't actually really extrapolate what happened based on the fact that one body's on top of the other. I just have to find a hole in her logic. Once I do, I can then present her with the evidence that proves the contradiction. Because basically, we're just creating make-up scenarios in our head of where we're right and they're wrong. We're basically doing like power scaling fandom community arguments. Or like my OC could beat up your OC. Like where people just keep making shit up so that they're the correct ones and the other person is El Rongo. Like we're depicting ourselves as the Giga Chad and the small child as the Soy Jack, you know, virgin loser. Which in her case, you would hope.
Hold it! Objection!
I couldn't even read what I said before you interrupted me. Pressing someone's testimony in order to gain some time to think? No, I got infinite time to think, lady. That's what this game's all about, man. It's about the yapping. So he didn't even press. Oh no, he did say hold it. Because I was thinking it was just him thinking to himself, press. You're a real one-trick pony, aren't you? It's too bad your trick only works on fools. That wasn't my intent, and also, aren't you stalling now? Isn't your stalling just giving me time to think? So in fact, I'm actually winning right now. I simply wish for more details as to how Mr. Faraday ended up on top of Mr. Rel. Huh. Someone's impatient. I was about to explain everything to you. Do you think you could hold on for a minute? How did you get that? How'd you reach so far? Alright, Francesca, I'll make you a deal. I'll hold on if you hold on to that whip of yours. It's not a whip, it's a riding crop. I'll hold on to it alright as I whip you, but it's not a whip. Is she like supposed to like originally have a whip and they're like, actually we changed it? But the dialogue still refers to a whip? Well, now that you've quieted down a bit, I'd like to continue if you don't mind.
Hold it!
The two fell on top of each other? Don't you find that to be just a bit strange? Not at all. Well, I do. I can see it in her eyes. She's dead set against me from the bottom of her heart. Miles Edgeworth, once I'm done here, you'll see that there's nothing strange at all. Now then, the two men fell in a pile.
Hold it!
What do you mean by they attacked each other at the same time? I assume Mr. Faraday had the two different weapons in his hands. Yeah, I assume he didn't. You know what they say about assuming, girly? He made to attack Mr. Rell while holding both the knife and the revolver. Is he really bad at killing people? After Mr. Faraday fired the gun, Mr. Rell grabbed the knife as he was falling and stabbed Mr. Faraday. I mean, I guess. Seems a little unlikely, but... that is how Mr. Rell wound up on the bottom with Mr. Faraday on top. At close range, that is more than possible, you fool. You said the magic word. Yes, it's possible, but... do you have any other ideas? Because honestly, I'd forgotten about that, but they said the trigger word. Which one is it? It says from a few yards away. But didn't we actually have, like, notes that say... so which one do I use? I mean, in theory, I should be able to use both. Because this one does say from a few yards away. So I don't know if I use the gun or if I use the notes. And show me what you've got. Oh, I will. And to that extent, I'd like for you to append what you just said to your testimony. I don't see any point to that, but as you please. Alright, it's time to let's get pre-tilted, because I'm gonna... honestly, I don't know which one's like the most... the fact that it's in the little byline makes me think they want you to use the handgun. Because I'm trying to think of like a follow-up question, because like maybe it's you use the handgun and then you could follow up with the crime scene notes to prove what you're saying. Or, I mean, realistically, both should just work. But I know they're iffy on... because sometimes multiple evidence works, sometimes it doesn't, you know. So you believe they killed each other at close range. Sorry, but that's impossible. Just as it's written in the crime scene notes. Or this gun. The fire to the handgun did not leave a gunpowder burn on Mr. Rell's clothes. Therefore, Mr. Rell and the gun... must have been separated by a distance of at least 2 or 3 yards. Whatever the hell. You Germans, you don't even know what that is, do you? Just, to be honest, neither do we. Nobody really knows what a yard is. I feel like my yard is actually rather large. I feel like it would be pretty hard to determine the distance, because they can be quite varying in size. This is by far the biggest contradiction. The two bodies are piled up on each other, yet the gun was fired from a distance. But, like, he didn't have to have died. It's entirely possible he was charging him, got shot, and continued to charge him. And with there being no chance that Mr. Rell moved that far after being shot, what do you mean there's no chance? Like, guns are not as lethal as you would like to think. I mean, granted, where did he get shot? He did get shot in the chest. I do... we don't have a picture. But, like, it's entirely possible the gun, one shot wouldn't have had enough stopping power. Dude was, you know, amped up. He could have made it. That leaves only one possible explanation. What a really foolish line of foolish thought for a thoroughly foolish fool! If I'm not right, then who was it that made the first move with the intent to kill, huh? Who? I don't know. The person that attacked first with murderous intent, that would be... I mean, I'm just thinking about neither man, because it just seems wrong. Like, I don't know if we have any evidence to suggest that there's... I mean, could there have been a third party at play? Yeah, sure, but I don't think we have any evidence of that. Because, like, I could see there being a third party, but I don't think we have any evidence to prove that, you know? So, who would have acted first? I mean, my initial just, like, gut read would be... I'm trying to remember the setup for the story. Mackerel's on the stand. He accuses Faraday of telling him to do the thing as Yatagarasu. So I guess that does give Faraday a motive for action. But if we say Faraday, aren't we just agreeing with her? Unless we're gonna present our own counter theory where he acted first. Because I don't really know why. I mean, the question of why would Mackerel kill this guy? I don't know. Why did he kill the other person in the first place? I don't know. Used by the left-handed Faraday. So there's also that. So I guess that could suggest that maybe he never even fired the shot. Which could be neither man, but we have no evidence of a third man. You know? So I feel like it's either these two. My plot sense is, like, I feel like neither man, it kind of calls to me. But with nothing to follow up to present it on. Other than the fact that maybe you could argue that the gun and knife were planted after the fact. Because this feels like bait, but it also speaks to my soul. So if it's wrong, I won't be mad. Here in this room, contradictions appear no matter which man we claim attacked first. There can only be one explanation. There was a third person here. Okay, third person. Alright, yeah, edgy. Way to be inclusive. Honestly, you know what? That bought you another day. It was that third person who killed both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell, and set their bodies up to make it look like a double murder. The third person is the real culprit. Do you have any proof whatsoever? Not really. But that's what I like to do. Who do you think did the crime? I don't know. Somebody else who maybe exists. Which, I mean, granted, in theory, should kind of work in like a legal system. It wouldn't work in the Ace Attorney universe because, as we've already established, somebody has to get executed. There's no such thing as an acquittal, alright? The only way you get acquitted is if you can give somebody else to put in jail, alright? It's a soul for a soul here at the Ace Attorney justice system. Miles Edgeworth, there's just one thing you're missing. Evidence, correct? Exactly. Everything you've set up until now is nothing but a story played out in your head. I mean, at least they're saying it. It's not just me saying it, even the game's saying it. However, this is where the real test begins. Can you prove there's a third person involved in this crime? Of course. I mean, the only thing we really have is the gun, I feel like. The third person was truly here. That fact would resolve the glaring contradiction. The proof this has all been set up made it look like they killed each other. I'll present it and lay bare the final piece of the puzzle that's not yet in place. Well, let's look through everything real quick. So the one thing we haven't used is we have not used the plastic bag, right? I don't think we presented the plastic bag. Because, I mean, so here's the thing. Fountain pen proves he's left-handed. Will the game make the connection for me that him being left-handed and the gun being in his right hand creates the appearance of Faraday having used the gun, but it's very unlikely he would have used the gun with his right hand being left-handed. Therefore, the gun was planted after the fact, therefore third party. The bag, I feel like we don't know anything about, other than that it was just kind of like in a weird spot. It does kind of, you could use the bag to maybe argue the bodies were moved, since the bag had blood on it and was not actually where the bodies are. And we haven't used it. I feel like it should be the pin, but I think they want the bag. Since it hasn't been used yet, and I can see the argument of how you connect it.
Take that!
The gun in Mr. Faraday's hand and the plastic bag was blood. Oh, would it actually have taken both? Because if so, props. These two items point to the presence of a third person. How so? Recall Detective Gumshoe's testimony. I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep of a struggle. If there wasn't a struggle in this room, then there shouldn't be any plastic bags on the ground. Meaning that someone else must deliberately scatter them around. Do you not see the possibility in this? Disregarding the gun for a moment. There's a high probability of blood splatter when a knife is used on a person. If the culprit held the knife with a plastic bag around it, they could use the bag to catch any blood spatter from when they withdrew the knife. What? I mean, I kind of get what you're saying, but wouldn't the bag have a hole in it from the knife? Then by spreading a few more plastic bags around, mixing the bloody one in with them, and arranging the room to make it look like there was a struggle between the two, they were able to conceal their presence. Well, I think the bigger question is, like, how did they get in the room? I mean, I guess in theory they could have been there before the other two got there, like maybe they were meeting somebody? But then there is still the follow-up question of how did he stab this dude, shoot the other guy, arrange their bodies, scatter everything around, and and escape without being seen? Looks like we've still got a long way to go in this investigation. Yes.
Objection!
Oh. I completely forgot you existed, lady. Or should I say murderer, third person? Because, I mean, you would have cause to kill both of them. Right? If they said Faraday did this case as well, so if you, like, feel like he botched it and this dude got away and your sister, or at least relative, presumably sister, was one of the 11 million deaths nationwide in 2007. 11 million deaths nationwide. I mean, they think it's a big deal because that's all they're talking about in the newspaper, man. That's all they're talking about. And then you obviously would have follow-up cause to... Well, why would you kill Mackerel? Because who did Mackerel kill? Was this fucker? The judge. So yeah, I don't really know why you would kill Mackerel, other than him and he could have just been... I mean, presumably he's related to the first case in some way, because, yeah... Or it could have just been collateral damage. I don't know. But, like, I could see Girly being the killer. Because as of right now, she's the only character we know who could be the killer, because it's not this guy, probably. I would be highly surprised if the guy named Bad was actually bad. What the heck's up with you, pal? Mr. Bad, I advise you to place Detective Gumshoe under arrest. What? What the hell? I'm just a side character, partner. I'm not supposed to get arrested yet. That's not until, like, one of the later games, maybe. I'm pretty sure I'm like a criminal suspect at least a few times, where they're like, Gumshoe did it. And then it's like, actually, Your Honor, I have medical proof that Gumshoe could not have done this because he is too stupid. I mean, financially challenged. He has too much donkey brains to have committed this murder. What's the meaning of this? Listen, you're not man enough to discipline your own subordinates. Don't you dare. The detective claims he was there, standing in front of the door the entire time. But I have it on good authority that it was all a giant lie. Miss Yu, I ask that you please explain that last statement. I'll let His Honor explain it himself. I saw it with my own eyes, I tell you. During the recess, there was a period of time when there was no one in the lobby, I do say. What? Apparently that's what the judge is going to sound like now. I ask you, why would a detective who's supposedly doing his job the whole time, assuming I can channel that voice again, because that one just kind of came out of the ether, would want to fabricate such a lie? Gumshoe, did you kill Faraday? No! Of course not, sir! You would appear the only one who set this whole crime scene up as that detective. Guys. Which basically renders his testimony a complete lie and wholly invalid. Unless you get perfect lines, you just come tumbling down, Miles. Well... I mean, yeah, I guess you could argue there's a struggle now. Which honestly makes sense. I mean, I feel like you could use this to reinforce the idea of a third man then. Because now you don't have anyone to claim that there was only these two in the room, right? Anybody could have come in. Like, now there's no witness to... Because now you can kind of get rid of one of the biggest obstacles to claiming there was a third man, which is that, well, how did they get in without being seen? So now you can say Gumshoe was out in the garbage looking for lunch. So nobody knows what was going on. Was that statement really a lie? Detective Gumshoe, you're now suspect in murder of 2 men. Spit out the truth or so help. I ain't lied to anyone, sir, honest. I was really there. I was in the hallway the whole time.
Hold it!
Detective Bad, I ask that you please do not act without my permission. After all, I am the one that's heading up this investigation, am I not? You are not. I do not respect you, boy. Don't talk like you know what's going on, boy. Wag finger at me again. Lose finger. All I want is for this investigation to run perfectly. Perfection is the only wish of a disciple of Von Karma, after all. Therefore, before you take Detective Gumshoe into custody, I'd like to set the record straight on something. In what's it? What should I ask Detective Gumshoe about? Why he wasn't in the hallway. Well, he's still claiming he was in the hallway, right? I mean, he just said he was there. Because, I mean, it's possible he was in... Because what... Because what did the judge actually say? Nobody knows. Whoa, wait. Did we scroll past it? Yeah. I saw it during the recess. There was a period of time there was no one in the hallway. So he's saying there was a point when there was no one in the hallway, and he's saying I was in the hallway the whole time. And then state of the hallway. Because, I mean, it's possible he was in the hallway. He was just kind of off. He wasn't, like, actually at his post. He was just like, I'm close enough. So we do see that there was, like, the ants. I've forgotten about that at the window. Maybe my man was snacking. So he, like, wasn't really paying attention. Detective Gumshoe, I take it that no one else is in the hallway at any time, correct? Huh? Oh, of course not, pal. You're being awfully defensive. Might you be hiding something from me? Watch your mouth, pal. You can't go around saying stuff about like that without any evidence. I suppose you're right. I have no evidence at this point. Miles Edgeworth, how can you be losing a battle of wits with this detective? You're a disgrace. Maybe I should ask about something else. Okay. Detective Gumshoe, why were you missing from the hallway for a span of time? Look, pal, like I said, I was there the whole time, okay? But there's testimony against you that... Miles Edgeworth, why are you wasting our time with a completely useless question? Well, I mean, the other question's even more useless, since when has a motive ever mattered in an Ace Attorney game? The only logical reason as to why he was absent is he was busy committing the crime. Anyone who says otherwise is a fool. Okay. I don't really... Because he's gonna say, I ain't got one, partner, and they're like, yep, that's what a murderer would say. This is actually a situation where us not giving a shit about the motive yet makes sense. I suppose the one thing I'd like clarified is Detective Gumshoe's motive for committing this crime. Motive, huh? Gumshoe, you got grudge against what's he gonna say? Yeah, I mean, I wanted to kill him, but I'd never do it. No, sir, not me. Not a single bad thing against Mr. Faraday, sir. I hate bad things. Well, I mean, not you, detective, but just like bad things in general, you know? Is the defeat. Objection! You really have a problem with lying, don't you, Detective Gumshoe? I'm telling you, I am not lying. The more unnatural you act, the more suspicious you become, you know? If you want a motive, Edgeworth, I have one for you right here. Could you please share it with us? However, be forewarned, I won't hesitate to object to flights of fancy. Because all I'm interested in is the perfect explanation. Oh, you're serious, aren't you? Fine. You amuse me, so I'll humor you with a little courtroom practice. I don't know. Seems kind of silly that was... I mean, at least they didn't punish me, so I can't be mad about it. But... He said, I ain't got a motive, and then... I don't... It was about a week ago. Some would say it was all good just a week ago. I saw a detective get chewed out by a livid Faraday in front of the precinct. Well, I mean, if Gumshoe murdered everybody who chewed him out, like, there wouldn't be any people left. He stood there super pale as Mr. Faraday yelled, "That's a salary cut for you, you nitwit!" A brand new detective suddenly getting a salary cut. That's reason enough for a grudge. How's that for the perfect explanation? It's pretty flimsy, honestly. You totally misunderstood me, pal. No matter how mad I get, I can never hold a grudge. Quiet. We can't trust anything you say. Well, I mean, what if she just came in and said you did it, partner? I mean, this seems like a damn, what do they call them? Chupacabra courts? Nothing wrong with the motive she proposed, per se. There's some gaps in her logic that need to be filled in. Misuse perfect explanation may not be so perfect at all. Damn true, partner. It was about a week ago. You don't... You got any proof it was a week ago? How do I know you're not making this situation up? You got a record of it? A week ago. Think you and Detective Gumshoe are acquaintances? No way. I only met him in person today. Then how do you know about Detective Gumshoe? Oh, I've seen him around before. How do you even know it's Detective Gumshoe? Can you really ID my client? You say you barely know him, yet you can recall having seen him exactly a week ago? Seems unlikely.
Hold it!
Motion to dismiss, Your Honor. Mr. Faraday was upset? Yeah, you know what else? Mr. Faraday isn't exactly known to get angry often. But there he was, totally beat red in the face. And the offending detective just stood there pale as a ghost, like he was about to die. Just like the face he's making now, right? I'm completely innocent, I tell you. That's what all murderers say. Well, like, most all murderers. Some of them say I did that shit, but those are the real sickos. Or they, you know, actually do feel regret. Which is, I mean, it's possible. Guess it depends on the type of murder. The poor man. It was quite the scene, the detective.
Hold it!
You just stood there watching this unfold in front of you? Yeah, I have to say it was really enjoyable too. Sociopathic tendencies? Maybe you're the murderer? That's why when I saw Detective Gumshoe earlier, I knew to steer clear of him. No way! I thought it was because I had something stuck on my face! God, it would have been really embarrassing if I had gum on my shoe. And it was all I was walking around and it was going squick, squick, squick. Oh God, that'd be so embarrassing. I might just have to kill anybody who ever heard it. But you do! What? What I got stuck to my face? Let's start with your eyes, nose, mouth. Oh, and those ridiculous eyebrows. What the hell's wrong with my damn eyebrows? I mean, yeah, they're a little bushy, but I mean, they're a pain in the ass if I can't tweeze them every day, partner. And I can't really. What am I gonna do? Shave my eyebrows? That just seems a little ridiculous. And then it fucking grows back. Is the worst part. Oh man, messing with your head is just too much fun. Miss you. If you don't mind, I'd like to return to your testimony now. Sure, why not?
Hold it!
To cut a new detective salary out at the bat like that. I'm not really familiar with the way you guys relate, but is that a common practice? Speaking of cutting my salary, didn't you threaten to do that to me earlier too? I suppose I did. It's only natural to cut a worthless detective's salary down to their actual worth. My father can even fire anyone new or old with a snap of his fingers. Do you think maybe that's a reason enough for detectives to hate you people? Well, I guess they really shouldn't cut people's pay. Detective Bad, don't tell me Mr. Von Karma cut your salary earlier.
Hold it!
Okay. I mean, nothing really jumped out to me there. You call your explanation perfect? I mean, other than it being completely ridiculous, but, other than that, nothing jumped out at me. Is it not to your liking? Unfortunately for you, it's just not up to my standards. Oh, is there something you want me to clarify in that case? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? I guess, because I don't know what else to do. If you could clear this one thing up for me. How he was killed, motive for killing Mr. Rel, Faraday and Gumshoe's relation. Okay. So the thing with the so here's what I would say, let's go through our thought process. What do I think the answers would be for each one of these? Which one seems like the worst answer? So motive for killing Mr. Rel. Dude was there. He was just caught in the crossfire. Now the problem with that is, since he was shot, because you would think it would be you shoot Mr. Faraday. No. Yeah, because Mr. Faraday was shot. Because in theory, if Gumshoe has a grudge against this guy and he walks in and he has to kill both of them, just so no witnesses, it would be they were both shot, or you would shoot Faraday and then have to stab Rel, right? You wouldn't kill him first. Then Faraday and Gumshoe's relation, I mean, that's what her whole testimony was, is that there was a vague relation. And how he was killed. I think this one gets more to the core of the question, even though I think this also kind of gets to it. Because the basic thing is that it doesn't make sense for Gumshoe to break in and then kill them the way he did. So, I'm going to go with this one. You still haven't explicitly established how Mr. Faraday was killed.
Objection!
Going senile already, Miles. Mr. Faraday was stabbed to death with a knife. What? Yeah, and how did Gumshoe get the knife? How were the two men killed when they were in a guarded room? But no, you fucking idiot. Why do you say stupid things? We're going to find that out very soon from Gumshoe at his interrog. No, you dummies, you stupid dummies. You're too dumb to even understand my argument. I understand Detective Gumshoe's potential motive for killing Mr. Faraday. What about his motive for killing Mr. Rel? His motive for killing Rel? Like I would know. There was no clear motive for both of the murders. I doubt this incident would have occurred. Wouldn't you agree? And then she's just gonna say... Like, this should be the easiest counter of all time. Is there anyone else who might have had a grudge against either of the two men? We should be looking at that ourselves. In that case, I have What the fuck are you talking about? I'm actually tilted. What do you mean this is the easiest layup of all time? You say, wrong place, wrong time. I don't know. And then we should be able to counter that with a fucking judo throw to be like, why didn't he just shoot them both then? He has a gun. And why would he have used that gun? Why would he have gotten into the evidence bag and got a gun to shoot? It doesn't make any damn sense. That's what we should be saying. The whole, why would he kill Mr. Rel is the weakest argument you could make. What? That's impossible. She must know something. Wait. Can you please not glare at me like that? It makes me laugh. I didn't even do anything and you're already laughing away. Man, I wish it was that easy. Anyway, the way I see it, as long as he had a motive to kill one of the two, this crime would have played out the way it did anyway. Oh. Okay, she is at least gonna say it. That makes me less tilted. This time, please try to provide a truly perfect explanation. Perfect this, perfect that. Stop being so tight. Is that a requisite trait for being a Von Karma? Miles Edgeworth, I demand that you shut this rude woman up. I wish you'd both be quiet for just 1 second. Got they ass? Oh well, I guess I have to explain it to you kids. I'm a little tilted. I think we will go ahead and call it here. Well, I'm trying to think. We'll at least go through her testimony. Because I don't know, I'm trying to think if I want to do like 2 short videos or 1 long video. I think we're just gonna, well, let's go long. Fuck it. We're not finishing this game before our deadline anyway, which it should be fine because I do have that whole, like, I mean, I'm recording this on the 8th. I've got from like the 17th to the 21st off. 22nd maybe? I don't remember. Basically that whole week after President's, or week of President's Day in the US. So I'll have plenty of time to record this to finish it up, like while we're also doing trails. There's no one out there with a motive to kill both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rao. All you have to do is establish that someone had a grudge against one of the 2 men. Mr. Rao happened to be there, became a witness to Mr. Faraday's murder. Therefore, he was killed out of necessity and set up to look. But like, because this is what annoys me. Like, why does this objection move the plot forward? Because she is saying what makes sense. And the problem with the previous questions was there's a very clear and obvious answer to it, so it should be wrong. Like, us mentioning it should just get easily deflected. And then they're like, boom, minus HP because you said something stupid. That you obviously, there was no reason to pursue this line of argument. I wonder if that's really true. Is there, because it's like, in an alternate scenario where the game went somewhere different, and I had picked that option, and then they had said, dummy, wrong place, wrong time, it doesn't really matter. He just had to kill him to not be a witness, and then it took my HP away. You would be like, why are you so stupid? Why would you have clicked that option? Is there no one out there with a grudge against both men? Let's take another hard look at the evidence of this morning's case. Second KG-8 incident, as people are calling it, involving a embassy staff member, and the 2 men who both wound up as suspects in the case. Wait, who are the... Oh, wait, you talk about the first or the second KG-8 incident? Yeah, the second. Because, I mean, she's not connected to the second as far as we know. Now, we know she's connected to the first, and Faraday's connected to the first. And this dude did pop up and talk to her. I believe. I think I remember him popping up, and I think he talked to Chickadee. But we don't actually have the case file for the second one. Like, we don't actually know what happened. Is kind of the problem. Is there someone else I'm overlooking who's somewhat related to them? Yeah, we should take a sip of the sauce, though. Okay, it was honestly more of a guzzle of the sauce. That's because we've been sauceless since we started the video.
Hold it!
We were too busy getting tilted. So there's no one else who might have a grudge against both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rao? I suppose no one is a bit of a stretch. I'm pretty sure no one like that was here in the courthouse today. She's lying through her teeth. We just saw someone like that here earlier. I mean, if you're implying Cochin, I feel like he has no real reason. I mean, why would he have killed them? I mean, based on the evidence we have, I mean... Like, I don't even know what our line of argument is going to be. Could I see him being the third man? Yeah, sure, on like a logic level. But like, I just don't even know what the line of argument's going to be. But that is like the only piece of evidence we really have.
Hold it!
Someone with a grudge against one of the men. In that case, aren't there plenty of other people who fit the bill? Sure, after all, he doesn't garner scorn from another simply by being alive. But the only one who had a grudge and acted upon it by killing was Detective Gumshoe. Furthermore,
Hold it!
so you're saying that he was basically silenced. Aren't you glad you managed to avoid the same fate, Your Honor? Why, if you hadn't been the one to witness the blood-covered detective... What? Detective Gumshoe? You would kill even me? What? I could never do something as terrible as that, Your Honor. I do say there's no need for even a second deliberation. Your Honor, take a look around. We're not in a court right now. It would be greatly appreciated if you would stay here with us in reality. Ah, forgive me. I'm just a small town country judge. I've lost it. I can't garner it again. We kind of, that first couple lines you showed up earlier, we had a good discount Foghorn Leghorn going. At least it sounded like it to my ears in the moment. If you fail to do so, I'll whip you into shape. That's nice. Sounds kind of like fun, actually. Anyway, Detective Gumshoe had to erase the witness, Mr. Rell.
Hold it!
I didn't do it, pal. No hard feelings, but I don't think we can take the word of a criminal seriously. I'm not a criminal. Innocent until proven guilty, pal. I thought we lived in a proper country. But I can't even begin to think of ways to set up a crime scene. I suppose you do lack the necessary tactical mind required to do such a thing. Why do you gotta kick a man when he's down, pal? You shouldn't put yourself down, Detective. You're a big boy. I bet you had it thought out by yourself, right? Yeah, that's right. I worked real hard at it, too. I think this proves one thing about the detective. He has the mental acuity of a worm. That's just rude. I mean, it does have vibes of the guy who tried to, well, was accused of trying to kill the president, and then the FBI interviewed him, and they're like, actually, this fucker is way too dumb. There is absolutely zero clue he carried out the plot to mail rice into the president. And so he got cleared by way of being too stupid. However, there is also something she overlooked in her testimony. I should present that piece of evidence. I mean, I don't really know what they want from me with this. Oh, whoops, I meant to present.
Objection!
Monsieur, I believe there's someone you overlooked in making your statement. Or rather, is it because you'd rather not bring this person up? Because, I mean, I feel like she makes more sense than the Manny guy. What do you mean? We're looking for someone with a reason to kill both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Red. I can't think of at least one other person that fits the bill. He was a suspect in the original KG-8 incident. And a member of the Cadopian Embassy staff, Mr. Manny Cochin. That's right, the very man who came to visit you earlier out in the hallway. The man who killed a member of the Copadopian embassy staff, Mr. Rell. And the man who was the lead prosecutor of the KG-8 incident. But like, if he wanted to kill Mr. Faraday, you think he wouldn't have waited so many years. Are you telling me that Mr. Cochin has no reason at all to kill both of these men? Plus, the dude, like, sucked as a prosecutor and got him free. Like, if anything, that makes more sense that they'd be working together and he wouldn't hold a grudge against Faraday. If he blew the original prosecution, either due to, you know, incompetence or maliciousness. Or, I mean, we don't necessarily know the, you know, how hard the case was per se. But, I mean, they did make fun of him earlier, say it was like, well, I guess it was just Von Karma was saying that he couldn't believe he lost the case, which that could just be Von Karma talking. But it could also be that the case should have been a slam dunk and for some reason he didn't get it. We don't actually know. I suppose you might have a reason or two. You covered for me, pal! Maybe you're not such a bad guy after all. You know what, partner? I think I'm gonna be your sidekick forever. Do not get ahead of yourself. You're still a suspect, make no mistake about that. The perfect evidence, the perfect testimony, these are the only things I wish to hold. I didn't do it. You'll stay under my authority and go investigate Mr. Manny Cochin for me. Remember, I'll not be very forgiving should any of this leak out. You won't investigate Cochin. You'll just be wasting your time. His brain exploded earlier. Why is that? Cochin was up in the viewing gallery, watching the trial, so I was told. Every cop in this place has been keeping an eye on the guy since he arrived. And the only real suspect we have is Detective Gumshoe. I suppose so. No way, come on, Detective Bad, you gotta believe me, sir, pal. I was really in that hallway the whole time, sir. Be a pal and believe me. I never took a single step in this room, sir. Okay, then you are saying there was someone else who passed through the hallway. No, I mean, there was no one else, sir, unless they were real sneaky like. Then why should I believe you didn't do it? That is one incredibly foolish detective. Standing right in front of a crime scene all by himself. It's as good as a confession of guilt. Aren't you guys standing right in front of a crime scene right now? I have to admit it's a bit strange. Most criminals will fabricate some sort of lie to escape their crimes. And that detective really wanted to prove that he is innocent. You'd think he would at least offer up a spaced out while on duty or the like. Come on, Gumshoe. Time for your interrogation. We will not be gentle. Detective Bad? Miles Edgeworth, I'll go on ahead and report this to Papa. And as they say is that, right everyone? Ho ho ho! I do say. I suppose we should both get back to our real jobs now, huh? It's finger wagging good. Before we do, Miss Yu, there's something I'd like to speak with you about. What is it? How do I get the TV to turn on? I'm missing the game. The television has been left on to preserve the crime scene. And it will stay on until the police are finished with their investigation. Do they think nothing of saving electricity? How bothersome. Don't they know 11 million people died nationwide in 2007? What do you want to ask me about? The current case of the murdered Cadopian embassy staff member. I've heard that people have begun calling it the second KG-8 incident. Only among law enforcement types. And what about it? I'm waiting for you to tell me everything you know about the original. I'm afraid I can't help you. I don't know anything beyond what was reported in the papers. I believe you know much more, since you are directly tied to the KG8 incident. I'd appreciate it if you'd stop with the false accusations. What are you, why are you even trying to hide it? It would be like extremely common knowledge. Baseless outbursts are beyond useless both inside and outside the courtroom, don't you agree? I do, but I also know that I do have a leg to stand on here. Think you can stop making that ultra serious face in front of me? If you could please stop laughing for just 1 second. I'm not going to make any headway like this. I'm just going to have to show her exactly how related to the KG incident she is. Yep, so related. It is a shame we'll not be able to face each other. It was to be my first trial, too. Is that a declaration of war? How nice it is to be so young and carefree. I'm pretty sure you're younger than me, or we're at least like basically the same age. Actually, what, this is supposed to be 8 years ago? But I guess Miles is probably younger. I forget how old he's actually supposed to be in real time. He's actually like late 20s, so he's probably like 20 right now. Maybe a little younger. And what a nice squeaky clean badge you've got there. I'm jealous. I'm sure it will gleam, will dull over time with experience. Or granted, this, I'm pretty sure this was to be 8 years ago, they said, right? Or 7? How old is Chickadee? Your question mark. Fuck. So it's like 6, because you were 32 at the start of the game. Or 33? Because I know the first KG8 incident was supposed to be 10 years. And I feel like I remember them saying this was 2 years after that, but maybe they didn't. And I just made that up in my head. Okay, we have had this conversation already. The start of it, I didn't remember, but I remember the second part. Alright, Miss Yu? I believe I have proof of your connection to the KG8 incident. Oh, we just happen to have the same last name, that's all. Fuck. That files your proof? Very well then. Why don't you tell me exactly how I'm related to the KG8 incident? Through the victim. Your connection to the KG8 incident is through the victim. Like, why is she, like, wouldn't this just, I don't know, this is just weird. Because if you think about it, like, in real life, it would be very known. Like, she should not be surprised that people are like, hey, aren't you related to the lady who got murdered and it was apparently a big, giant, huge news story? At least a big enough news story for everyone to, like, know it by its code name. At least within the, you know, law profession. The victim's name is CCU. You will note she has the same last name as you. A lot of people have the same last names. Can you still tell me with a straight face that you're not related to this case? Sorry, we're not related. Just kidding. You asked that question with such a serious look on your face. I couldn't help but... I mean, I feel like it'd be a slightly... I feel like I would treat the subject with a bit more decorum if it was, you know... Hey, is this your sister that got murdered? You related to this lady? I probably wouldn't start busting out laughing. Personally. Miss Yu, I ask that you please tell me the truth. Alright, I'll tell you everything I know. Alright, well... As you guessed, the one who reported the smuggling activities of the Mono Group was my sister. As I thought. And she was killed right before she was to testify at the impending trial. By Manny Cochin. Because he was tried once, and was acquitted, he gets to live out the rest of his cushy life completely carefree. All because of a lack of evidence. No, I heard the evidence to convict him did exist. Well, was it real evidence, or was it... What? I heard it from Mr. Faraday himself after Mr. Cochin's trial was over. Apparently a man in black made off with the most important piece of evidence. Then the evidence had been tampered with. Isn't it just like a criminal to do something like that? The smuggling ring being run out of the Amano group by one of its secretaries. They bailed Mr. Cochin out. Turns out they were in league with each other all along. How big was the smuggling ring? Was it a large operation? I don't really know. Which is why I wanted to become the lead defense on this case that people are calling the second KG-8 incident. I haven't learned anything new at all. I was probably expecting too much, I know. You mean you think this case has nothing to do with the smuggling ring? I don't know what to think. I mean, I still think it makes more sense for her to be the killer, but... Why did Mr. Cochin want to meet with you earlier? Actually, he came to watch the trial. Apparently, he only found out that I was the defense lawyer in this case after he'd arrived. He figured he should say hi and one other thing. Looks like you couldn't resolve anything this time either. Too bad. I mean, I guess that does sound like something a killer guy would say, but... He was acquitted in a court of law, and if you're saying he's the bad guy, that would mean the legal system is flawed, and that I can't accept that. The legal system doesn't make mistakes or nothing, right? Ain't that right, edgy boy? What's that supposed to mean? Oh boy, stop it with the scary face already. I'm fine, really. I gave him a good slap across the face. But that's against the law. The way she talks about slapping him as she laughs away is kind of creepy. It's just as Mr. Bad said. He's not related to the double murder. I asked around and people in the gallery claimed that he was at a seat the entire time. Talk about cruel fate. This is about all I know. Sorry. Guess I wasn't much help, huh? That's not true. I'm sorry I made you recall such a painful time in your life. Edgeworth, you really are too serious for your own good. I'm just trying to be like a normal fucking person, you psycho. You really need to learn to relax. We wouldn't want you to die of stress, would you? Thanks for the advice, but there's no need to worry. Every time I stick up my finger and wag it, I get so much fucking dopamine. I work in my own way, and I will catch this criminal my own way as well. You'll see. Look at you with your game face on ready to go. I'm making no such face. Did you know laughter's the best medicine, Edgeworth? Don't you get tired of making such a serious face all the time? I'm charged with making sure that all the criminals of this world are found guilty. Of the world? That's maybe a slight exaggeration. I have no need for laughter. There you go, making that face again. Oh well. I've got to get going. I still have a few loose ends I need to tie up. The KG-8 incident and this murder investigation. It's my belief these two cases are related to each other somehow. Plus that detective, Detective Gumshoe. It's obvious he's lying, even though the lie is hurting his chances. Clearly this case is far from over. I mean, if he says I wasn't at my post, he's gonna get his salary docked so much that he may as well be dead. Can only be determined, or oops, I didn't. I tried to scroll up to access history, but we don't have that technology yet. Whether or not the detective is the murderer can only be determined once I've completed the perfect investigation. Mr. Von Karma, I swear to uphold your honor. My name isn't Miles Edgeworth. Turns out his name isn't Miles Edgeworth, because he didn't really uphold the dude's honor. He's actually the reason the dude's honor got destroyed. Isn't that, whoa, that's so ironic. Alright, we can call it here. Go a little bit longer. So this is art right here. But yeah, go a little bit longer, make up for not having videos the last couple of days. I'm Extra Cheesy 87. Stay tuned for the next part. And bye, guys.